hands both meant to be on the steering wheel.
I say anything to you when you're riding down the road with no
It's not the same. Just as it's not the same, you know, driving through this landscape in a car. It's just not the same, is it? I decided, on a whim, on the spur of a given moment, that I would start making little impromptu. You've just missed the parking spot I wanted.
No, I haven't.
Oh, no, she hasn't. No, it's further on, it's further on. That was my mistake.
Leave the driving to me.
I'll leave the driving to you. I've told the Murgatroyd where I want to be stopping to start this film, even though I've already started it. And I thought mistakenly for a moment there that we'd missed the lay-by that I wanted to start from. We hadn't. So the Murgatroyd has said, leave the driving to me, even though she does it with one hand most of the time. Anyway, we'll get out the car and I'll explain further. There we go, it started recording, and you don't call it Alexa. Right, so we are on the way home from Ulverston. We've just been to Ulverston. Back to the impromptu vlogs that I'm going to be making. There'll be no timetable, no schedule. They'll happen as and when they do. There'll be kind of bonus videos, I guess, in between my daily outputs, and they will be, as I say, spur of the moment, incidental. So I'm going to call them, since they're going to be incidental, Inci vlogs. Not to be confused with, what was it? Inci Wincy Spider. Inci Wincy Spider. We know how it ended for him. It wasn't pretty. Although he could have survived the flood, couldn't he? No, there's no evidence for that. Inci Wincy Spider climbed the wood spout, out came the rain, washed the spider out. No, we don't find out what happened
Saturday
to him.
night, and we're in a lay-by, and
We're in a lay-by.
sighting Inci Wincy Spider.
Well, I thought it was Sunday.
Let's get a
all day
life.
long. All day long, I thought it was Sunday. Anyway, we're on the way back from Ulverston. We've just had food at the chip shop in Ulverston, Chippy Bank. Great chip shop. But here on the channel of the Mighty Guru Yogurt, we don't do chip shop reviews. The Murgatroyd says it's because we're a snob. We are not a snob. We just don't do chip shop reviews. Anyway, we went to Ulverston. Bit of a backstory here. The Murgatroyd's son has a habit of trolling through Facebook Marketplace looking for free or cheap stuff. He came across an ad for some free giveaway used motorcycle gear. Size 11 or 12 boots and large sized Oxford textile motorcycle clothing. He messaged the person trying to give these things away. We were apparently the first to be in touch. We've just been to Ulverston and picked up the gear. I'll get it out in a minute. No, actually, I'll wait till we get home, then we can try it on and give you a twirl. We're not certain who it's going to fit yet. It's probable that the boots are going to fit me. They're certainly not going to fit the Murgatroyd. Her feet are even smaller than her head, which, as you know, is miniature. It's like, you know, the head shrinkers got her and did their magic on the head. Anyway, the boots certainly won't fit. They will fit me, particularly with winter socks. The textiles will probably fit both of us, but we'll check it out when we get home. We got to the place. While we were driving there, we were imagining what the story might be. Oh, somebody had a crash and decided they weren't ever going to motorcycle again. Turned out not to be the case. Elderly gentleman, when I say elderly, that's a relative term, isn't it? We're elderly, aren't we, really? I mean, you know. Yeah, but anyway, this guy was maybe 10 years older than us. It's difficult to tell when you get to our age. But he had just decided that he was too old to be riding a motorcycle any longer. And so he didn't buy a new one, and he wanted just to give his motorcycle gear to somebody who was going to use it. Well, we're certainly going to use it. Terribly sad story, and it gave me pause for thought. What is going to happen to me when I can't ride motorcycles anymore? I can think about most things. I can consider most outcomes, most possibilities, most worst case scenarios. I cannot imagine a life without motorcycles. The only thing I can think of that has any bearing on this situation relates, in fact, not to a motorcycling person, but to a extreme, serious mountaineer, Joe Simpson. You'll be familiar with that name when I tell you that he was the guy whose story was told in the film Touching the Void. Now, I actually met Joe Simpson. I played pool with him at a bar in Scotland, in Glencoe, many, many years ago. Anyway, he's quoted as having said, "I don't know what I'll do when I can't climb mountains anymore. I guess I'll just have to make do with being amongst them." I can't see a motorcycling future for me that involves sitting amongst motorcycles. I think that would be like torture. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I don't want to consider. After all, I'm still young. I'm only 62, for goodness sake. So, we're back at the ranch now. Motorcycle's out. I've got a few jobs to do. Basic maintenance. They both need, well, they all need, all three of them, a really good clean. Magnificent Beast and the Murgatroyd's bike in particular, they're still very dirty after the Scottish trip last week, so they're going to get a good clean and a polish. I've just done the lubing of Mr. Suzuki's chain. A few more little odd jobs to do on him as well, but he's pretty much good. I'm going to be doing a gear oil change on the Magnificent Beast. Fairly straightforward job, probably will film it. And then yeah, spit and polish, we're ready to go again. I'm also going to be checking all of the tyre pressures on all three motorcycles. Going back to the confusion about Incy Spider, I just want to make it clear that if you think a little bit more deeply about what's actually going on there, it's a nursery rhyme that means something. Incy Spider is doomed for all eternity, like Sisyphus. If you know your Greek mythology, Sisyphus is punished by Zeus for grassing him up for one of his atrocities. And Sisyphus has to roll a huge boulder up a hill every single day for the rest of eternity. Just as the boulder's getting very close to the top of the hill and he can see his liberation from his chore, the boulder rolls all the way back down again and he just has to start again. It's the same with Incy Spider. He climbs up the water spout, down comes the rain, he gets fucked over, he ends up floating off down the road, sun comes out again, he goes up the spout again. You know what's coming next. Back to the beginning. Down the water spout again. So Murgatroyd's wrong. She doesn't read enough into nursery rhymes. Anyway, going to get on with some work, but before I do that, I'm going to show you this gear that we just went to pick up in Alveston. So, pair of Risha boots, way too big for the Murgatroyd. As I mentioned earlier, tiny feet, tiny head, tiny hands, massive, massive brain. Those are really comfortable, they fit me perfectly. And that's going to even be a perfect fit with two thick pairs of socks on when winter comes again. And then we got Oxford, and this stuff's all quite new, it's in good repair. Oxford Stockholm jacket. Now I was actually thinking quite seriously about buying a set of textiles for the summer. I do like the leathers, but these are so much more flexible. You know, you can take the various linings out. You've got ventilation bits all over the arms. This has actually got back armour in, and you do have a pocket down the sides here for chest armour. Might consider getting that. Plenty of pockets, plenty of adjustment on the waist belt and such like. In really good nick. Cost absolutely nothing. Thank you, kindly gentlemen in Alveston. And matching trousers. These are too long for the Murgatroyd, and the jacket is too large for the Murgatroyd, so it would appear that ownership of these and use of these falls to me. These are absolutely useless on Mr. Suzuki. I was slipping all over the seat. They were getting all scrunchled up in the critical areas, and every time I put the brakes on, it hurt. So no good for Mr. Suzuki. Pretty sure they're going to be fine and comfortable enough on the Magnificent Beast, because of course your leg position is so different. We will see. I'll let you know on that one. And finally, in the little bundle that we picked up a pair of Knox gloves. Absolutely perfect fit for me, and of course the advantage here is that they've already been broken in, so really comfortable. Again, I was considering quite soon buying a pair of summer gloves, don't need to now. Always terribly sad when somebody hangs up their motorcycling gear because they're too old to do it anymore. As I said earlier, I don't even want to think about that. I'm going to get on with some work. Stop recording.